gentle stretch, stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. If you're seated, as usual, see if you can create that space at the front of the body. So making sure that the belly is not compressed, the diaphragm is not being squashed and compressed, preventing it from moving and creating that nice relaxed belly breath. So see if I can pick myself up, create a little bit more space so that the diaphragm can descend and ascend to encourage that nice relaxed breath. If you're lying down, just allowing the body to relax onto the mat, to feeling the belly raising with the inhalation and then falling with the exhalation. The shoulders are relaxed. Running a quick scan over the body, so noticing how the pressure feels. If I'm seated, compare the pressure between the right and the left seat bone, the position of the head, the position of the arms and the legs. If I'm laying down, try to notice the pressure at the back of the shoulders, at the back of the hips, at the back of the head. I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. And then as I start feeling the breath is a little bit calmer, the body feels that little bit more settled, a little bit more relaxed, I'm going to start focusing on the shoulder girdle. I'm going to start rolling the shoulders back. So nice easy circles, trying to move as much as possible. There will be all sorts of noises. As far as there is no pain with the clicking, with the scrunching, I'm going to keep going nice and big. If there is pain, I'm just going to ease off on the size of the movement, but still encouraging some. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circle, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release it back, returning the shoulders back into that original position, and then I'm going to press them down and away from the head. So think of a nice long neck. I'm going to start lengthening through the back of the neck. So I'm going to tap the chin in. Think of giving yourself a double chin. So I'm going to press the chin into the back of the throat. I'm going to try and lengthen through, and then I'm just going to release. So if you're lying down, imagine to be able to put the back of your neck flat against the floor. And then I'm going to release. If I'm seated, think of keeping the head nice and upright and then just pushing the chin into the back of the throat. See if you can feel the back of the neck lengthening, lifting a little bit higher. And then I'm going to ease back again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Returning the head back to the middle. I'm going to see if I can create a little bit more length. So this time I'm going to interlock the fingers, overlap the hands, whichever it's easier. I'm just going to wrap the hands around the back of the neck. Imagine your hands to be acting like one of those whiplash collars that hold your head up. So I'm going to wrap around the neck, and then I'm going to try and stretch it out to make it long. I'm going to maintain that length into the neck, and then tipping the head back, I'm going to try and look up if I'm seated, look behind if I'm lying down. I'm going to maintain the traction into the neck. I'm going to take 6 breaths here. 3 breathing through the nose. 2, 3. 3 breathing through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to tuck the chin to the chest, lengthening the back of the neck a little bit more. So if you're sitting lying down, lifting the head off the mat, turning the chin to the chest to keep the traction into the back of the neck. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. 3 through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. And then this time I'm going to take a deep breath in the middle. And then I'm going to rotate to the right. I'm going to exhale back to the middle. Deep breath in. Rotate to the left. Exhale back to the middle. Deep breath in. Turn right. Exhale back to the middle. Deep breath in. Left. Exhale back to the middle. One more time on each side. Deep breath in. Turn right. Back to the middle. Deep breath in. Left. Back to the middle. And then I'm going to release my way all the way back. Relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Resetting the head on top of the shoulders. So there's a little bit more movement into the neck. I'm going to try and see if I can get a little rotation now. So keeping the shoulders nice and still, I'm going to start turning the head to look around the right shoulder. Bring it back, and then I'm going to turn to look around the left shoulder. I'm going to look around the right, and then over to the left. So with the corner of your eye, as you turn the head, see if you can notice the shoulder, making sure that the shoulder is not drawing backwards. So see if I can keep the shoulders still and just move the head on top of the shoulders. Almost as if you were trying to line up the chin to the top of the shoulder. So I'm going to try and turn it and then bring it towards the top of the shoulder. And then I'm just going to turn the other way and do the same. And then same as usual, just notice the difference between the right and the left side. As I turn to the right, it feels easy. As I go to the left, it might be a little bit stiffer, or vice versa. As I turn left is good. As I turn right, it feels a little bit tighter. I'm going to focus on the tighter side to see if I can try and relax a little bit more that way. 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming back to the middle. Then I'm going to try and see if I can get that rotation a little bit deeper, getting the thoracic spine, so the upper back involved the two. So I'm going to reach my right hand, and then I'm going to place it around the side of the rib cage under the left armpit. With my left hand, I'm going to go over the right shoulder, and then I'm just going to give myself a nice tight hug. Then maintaining the tight hug, if I can even cross the right foot over the left or the right leg over the left. Whichever it's easier, I'm going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder. And then I'm going to turn the rib cage to the left. So the head is going one way, the rib cage is going the other. I'm going to maintain this position. I'm going to take 6 breaths, the same as I did for the flexion. 3 through the nose and 3 through the mouth. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, think of turning a little bit deeper. 2. 3. 3 through the nose. 1. 2. 3. Now maintain the rotation. We're going to breathe in stages. So each breath, we're going to take more air into the rib cage. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, 1. I'm going to breathe more, 2. I'm going to breathe a little bit more, 3. I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to exhale out. I'm going to try again. I'm going to breathe 1, a little bit more, 2, a little bit more, 3, and then turn, exhale. One more time. Deep breath in, 1, more, turn, and exhale. Keep the rotation. Pick a spot on the wall, on the side of the room. Focus on that spot, and then we're going to take a 6 nice relaxed breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then ease back. Turning the head to look over the left shoulder, the rib cage to the right, and then I'm going to repeat the side to the other side. So 3 breaths through the mouth. 1. See if I can deepen the twist. 2, 3. 3 through the nose. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to breathe in stages. Deep breath in. Breathe more. And then exhale, turning a little bit deeper. Again, 1. More. Turn a little bit deeper. Exhale. One more time. Deep breath. More. Turn. Exhale. Pick that spot on the wall. And then just hold and breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easing your way back to the middle, releasing the arms. I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to go left hand under the right armpit, right hand over the right shoulder. I'm going to give myself the nice hug. I can cross the left foot over the right, the left leg over the right, whichever it's easier. And then turning to look over the right shoulder, I'm going to turn the rib cage to the left. So 3 breaths into the nose. 1, 2, 3, 3 through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. See if I can turn a little bit more, and then breathe in stages. 1 deep breath. Breathe more. Turn. And exhale. Fine again. Breathing in. More. Turn. And exhale. One more time. Deep breath. 2, 3. Turn. And exhale. Pick that spot on the wall, and then just focusing on that spot. 6 relaxed breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming back to the middle, turning to look over the left shoulder. Rotating the ribcage to the right. 3 deep breaths through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Turning a little bit more. 3 through the nose. 1, 2, 3. And then breathing in stages. Big breath. Breathe more. Turn. And exhale. Try again. In. More. Turn. And exhale. One more time. Deep breath. More. Turn. And exhale. Pick the spot on the wall. And then just a 6 nice relaxed breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And releasing back. Releasing the arms, so giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Releasing the legs if you've crossed them. See if you can find that nice centered position. So upper back and neck feel hopefully a little bit looser, a little bit easier. I'm going to see if I can start focusing on the lower back. I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to rock back onto the tailbone. I'm going to tilt the pelvis back, drawing in from the belly and then forward into the seat bones. I'm going to bring the lumbar curve back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back and then I'm going to come forward. So think of a gentle rocking forward and back. If you're lying down on the mat, use the mat to guide you. As I tilt back, I can feel the lower back pressing gently into the mat, and then as I release, I'm rocking back into neutral. So tilting and releasing that tilt, tilting and releasing that tilt. So see if I can try and let go of any tension, any stiffness from down into the lower back. So see if I can keep it loose, see if I can keep it relaxed. So making sure that I'm not forcing, I'm not gripping and tightening, I'm keeping it as relaxed, as soft as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, using the hips and pelvis back into neutral, and then from that posterior tilt, I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So still trying to mobilize into the lumbar spine. I'm going to hitch the right hip towards the right side of the rib cage, and then I'm going to go left to the left. So feeling the, if I'm laying down, I can feel the back of my pelvis is just gently rubbing left to right. The lumbar curve is keeping in neutral, is keeping soft. I can feel a nice tension into the side of the belly. So the obliques, QL working to create that little side to side movement. If I'm seated, the same back from that upright position. So imagine one seat bones to be pulling off the chair, then I'm going to drop it back, I'm going to pull up on the other, drop it down, pull up on the other, drop it down. So almost as if I was trying to walk my seat bones up and down onto the sofa, onto the chair. So creating that little lateral movement into the hips and into the lower back, using the arms to create a little bit of an anchor, a little bit of a support, so that I can move a little bit better if there is need to use the arms. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, returning the hips back to the middle, resetting the back. It's just a little bit more movement all the way down the spine. I'm going to start focusing on arms and legs a little bit more. Starting with the arm, I'm going to try and see if I can create a little bit more opening across the front of the chest. So I'm going to bring the arms to the front and then keeping the shoulders down. So think of the shoulders down and away from the head of the neck, nice and long. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to open the arms out nice and wide. See if I can get a nice opening across the front of the chest. Then I'm going to close them back to the middle and then open up again. Now, if I'm seated, I've got space, so I can really try to get for that nice lift, that nice opening and closing back. If I'm laying down, I've got a little bit less space, but I can still try to create a little bit of a lift. So the arms opening, I'm going to try and push my chest up to the ceiling. Then I'm going to ease back, close, and then again, I'm going to open, push up, and then close and ease back down. Making sure that the shoulder is in a comfortable position, so it doesn't feel as if the arm is twisting, if the shoulder feels awkward or it feels so. The movement should be feeling fairly easy, fairly smooth. If I'm seated, the arms might start becoming a bit heavy, so I might need to drop them slightly. It's fine as far as I can still feel that nice lift through the chest, the nice opening into the front of the shoulder. And then I'm going to ease them back. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back and giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, releasing through the upper back. And then I'm going to change the direction of the movement. So I still want opening in the shoulder, but this time instead of going out, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to go up. So one arm at a time, I'm going to try and take my right arm up, as far back as I can, creating a nice lift at the front of the shoulder. And then I'm going to ease back. With the left arm, I'm going to do the same, and then coming back. If you're seated, the arm becomes quite heavy as I'm lifting against gravity. Make sure that you feel that you're lifting the arm to actually lengthen through the front of the chest, not to tighten. So this is not stiffening. It feels a nice, easy lift. So it might be a very small lift. It might be a very big lift. It's whatever it is, just to see if you can think of that length, that space at the front of the chest, the movement into the shoulder. If I'm lying down, I'm working with gravity, so it should be feeling a little bit easier to move the arm. Just making sure that, again, I'm not forcing the arm. There is no pain in the shoulder. The rib cage is staying soft, so it's not flaring. It's not lifting, it's not sticking out. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, and then I'm going to work into the legs. First thing, I want a little activation into the front of the hip. So I'm going to see if I can start getting the hip flexors to respond, to twitch, to tense, to connect. So I'm going to set the ball between my hands and my right thigh. If you're sitting, you can put your hands directly onto the thigh as the leg is closer. If I'm lying down, the leg is a little bit further away, so I want to use the ball to kind of like bridge that gap. And then from here, with the hands, I'm going to push away into the ball, with the leg, I'm going to push into the ball. So the leg is trying to come towards you and the arms are pushing it away. So I'm going to squeeze the ball and release. Squeeze the ball and release. So see if you can be aware of that little twitch, that little tension deep into the front of the hip that is creating the tension. So connecting my thigh bone to my pelvis and my upper body. So pressing and releasing that pressure. Pressing and releasing that pressure. Only a little pressure, so I'm not wrestling, I'm not trying too hard. I just want the front of the hip, the front of the belly on that side to start responding. So I'm going to squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 7, 8, 9, 10. And release the leg, relaxing the hip. I'm going to switch to the other side. So ball goes against the left thigh, or hands are directly on top of the thigh. With the hands, I'm going to push away. With the leg, I'm going to try and lift. So see if I can find the connection onto that left side, left hip flexor, left side of the belly. I can feel that left side of my chest as I push down into the ball. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, placing the ball between the knees. And then moving on to the inner thigh. So shuffling the feet a little bit closer together. And then I'm going to squeeze the ball between the knees. Squeeze the pillow between the knees. So see if you can really try to press hard until you can feel the tension reaching all the way the inner thigh into the groin. And then I'm just going to ease that pressure. So I'm going to squeeze hard and then I'm going to release. And then as you squeeze, notice the difference between the right and the left side. So I might find that my right side feels really strong. This feels as if it's really working. My left side feels a little bit number, a little bit weaker. I'm going to focus on the left side to see if I can find a better connection. And then same as usual, my left leg today is a bit temperamental, doesn't want to work, so I'm just going to guide it. So I'm going to use my hands to guide it where I want the leg to go, and then I'm just going to ease the pressure. So I'm going to squeeze and release, squeeze and release. And then as you keep the squeeze going, notice where the tension is. I want the tension to be down into the legs, not to climb up into my neck, into my jaw, into my shoulders, or into my upper body. So see if you can be aware of the upper body staying soft, staying relaxed. So there is no tension up here at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, we're going to squeeze and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the legs, so releasing the hips. I'm going to work on the opposite. So I'm going to work into the side of the hip. So I'm going to switch the ball for the band. If you've got the strap, so if you've got a belt, so if it's not elasticated, as usual, keep it a little slack so that you can still move the leg inside the loop to get that outward pressure. If the band is elastic, I'm going to tie around the knees. I can hold it with my hands, whichever feels easier. And then once the band is set, I'm going to do the opposite. So this time, instead of squeezing together, I'm going to try and pull away from each other. And then I'm just going to let them come back together again. So I'm going to push out into the band, and then I'm going to ease back in. So see if I can guide the tension or focus on the tension into the side of the hip, into the side of the leg, to create that abduction, the outwards movement. And then same as I did for the adduction for the inside of the leg, I might need to use my hands to guide the legs. So one side feels a bit stiffer, so I'm going to try and guide it. Both sides feel quite stiffer, so I'm going to guide both legs. So see if I can create a little movement, and then I'm going to ease back to the center. A little opening, and then closing back to the center again. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one, and easing back, relaxing the hips, relaxing the legs. I'm going to take the band away, relax the hip, and then I'm going to go into the back of the leg. So if you're seated, trying to walk the feet just a little bit closer to the chair, to the hips, and then we're going to do the little sit to stand. So I'm going to shift my weight forward into the legs, as if I was trying to stand up. I'm going to squeeze with the back of my bum, and then see if I can peel away from the chair. And then I'm going to go back into it, using the arms to offer a little support, a little help if I need to. So see if I can transfer the weight into the legs, and then squeezing my way up into a little lift, and then dropping back into sitting again. If you're laying down, getting into bridge. So I'm going to drive into the soles of the feet. I'm going to squeeze the hips up to the ceiling, and then I'm going to bring them back down again. So I'm going to go into extension, and then I'm going to release my way back. 3. Little lift, a big lift, it doesn't matter. 4. Really try to think of the back of the bum, driving that lift. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And releasing back, relaxing the hips, relaxing the legs, giving the legs a little walk, a little shake. So there's a little bit more activation into the hip joint as well. We're going to see if we can start combining above and below. So I'm going to shuffle the feet and the knees nice and close together. I'm going to raise the arms directly in front of the chest. And then with the arms, I'm going to swing to the right. So with the upper body, I'm going to turn to the right. With the legs, I'm going to go to the left. So one end of the body turns one way, the other hand goes the other. Then I'm going to ease my way back to the center, and then I'm going to rotate to the other side. So shoulders to the left, legs to the right, shoulder to the right, legs to the left. So if you're lying down, see if you can picture all of your spine rotating. So from your head all the way down to your lower back, and that nice gentle twist from side to side. If you're seated, the hips are fixed. I'm sitting onto my Steven, so I can't really turn the hips, but I can still move the legs. So as I rotate to the right, I'm going to take the legs, push the legs over to the left, as I rotate to the left, I can push the legs to the right. If the legs don't want to go there, I can use one arm to pull them across. And then I'm going to pull them across the other way. So I'm going to turn away and then come back. Turn away and then come back. So see if you can feel all of the spine movement from the neck, moving from the neck down through the thoracic into the lumbar spine. 4, 3, 2, last time. And releasing back, adjusting to the middle, bringing the feet back to about hips width apart. The back is long, the shoulders are still down, the neck feels relaxed, and then I'm going to still try to coordinate above and below. This time, imagine the usual marionette. So I've got my string that goes from my right hand to my right leg, my left hand to my left leg. I'm going to start pulling the string to see if I can get the legs to move. So I'm going to start pulling with the right hand, see if I can get the right leg to lift, then ease back, pull with the left to see if I can get the left leg to lift, and then back. So I'm going to go right, then release, left, and release. And then the foot might lift off the ground, it might belly pull away from the floor. It doesn't matter, it's whatever it is. But see if you can still focus on that tension into the front of the hip. It's the same as when you were using the ball to squeeze. See if you can think of the hip joint closing, the front of the hip dancing to create that lift into the leg. And then I might find that with my right, I can go really big. With my left, I can just barely lift the foot off the ground. It doesn't matter. So think of that string. I'm going to pull harder on the string, see if I can get a bigger lift. Pull harder on the string, see if I can get a bigger lift on the other side. Same if you're lying down. So I might only be able to go up on one side, and then the other feels a bit stuck, a bit heavier. On the next one, I'm going to try and pull harder with that imaginary string to see if I can get the leg to lift a little bit more. 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, allowing the hips a little rest, relaxing the hips, relaxing the shoulders. We're going to try one more time, but this time I'm going to cross my string. So instead of right hand pulling the right leg, my right hand will be pulling the left leg. My left hand will be pulling my right. So I'm going to reset the position. With the right hand, I'm going to pull the left leg into the lift. And then I'm going to release back. With my left hand, I'm going to pull my right leg and then easing back. And then noticing the differences. Sometimes we go same side and we can lift easily. We suddenly cross over and it becomes harder, or vice versa. I was struggling to lift the same side, but it just somehow feels easier when I go opposite sides. So I'm just going to try and do the best I can with that string to see if I can really get it to lift the leg and then come back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing down, relaxing the hips and releasing the legs. If you're laying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position, leaning against the wall, against the sofa, using the arms to support you if you need to. Trying to get the space at the front of the body. And then we're going to try and see if we can encourage more space. From the pubic bone to the chin, I'm going to try and reach out as far as I can. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to start pushing the chest forward. I'm going to start lifting it up. I'm going to let the shoulders drop behind. I'm going to try and reach into the belly. So lengthen through the belly, lengthen through the chest, the front of the throat. I'm going to look up, look back as far as I can. And then I'm going to release. And then I'm going to close everything down. So letting the chin tap, letting the shoulders come forward. I'm going to roll down as far as I feel I can go, and then back up in reverse and try to create space, stretching through the belly, lifting and opening through the front of the rib cage, front of the throat, looking up, looking back, and then release. So coming forward, rounding the back, allowing the body to relax forward, and then I'm curling back up again. Lengthening through one more time, reaching through the belly, lifting through the rib cage, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap.